So welcome. It's April 20th, 2021. I'm Joe Weston, and we're here for our weekly online global practice for reviving the global heart. I believe it's Earth Week this week, so let's do a little shout out to the Earth. Could use a little support. And I found out it's also International or National Volunteer Day. So blessings and gratitude to all those who volunteer your time and energy to something larger than yourself or whatever you volunteer your time and energy for. Um, so it's good to see you. There's a lot happening in this country, in the U.S. certainly, but around the world. And I find it interesting that as spring is springing, things are opening up. It's harder to remember that we're still in a global pandemic. I believe that we're still in it in a funny way, and that it on some way it's a bit more challenging in a sense to navigate all of that in terms of as things are opening up. And I'm also noticing that in myself and others, it's just how we're responding, that things are bubbling to the surface. So just being very mindful of that. And there's a lot happening in the news and a lot happening around that could be bumbling up a lot. So these practices of regulating your nervous system and having fierce compassion for yourself as well as others is very ideal. So if you're feeling like, wow, I'm tired or can't focus and concentrate, I have one friend who says, COVID. Not that we have COVID, it's just that it's been a year of dealing with this. So be gentle with yourself. I wanted to talk a little bit about, as a way of summing up, we spent, just finished a series on the 8 ailments of the global heart and the 8 remedies of the global heart. And I want to thank you for your diligence in that and your perseverance and your generosity and openness. And as I said, as I said that on some level it can be interesting, very insightful, and another level it could be challenging because as any medicine, it's designed to trigger parts of you that might need a little bit of realignment or balancing. And that the idea of the 8 ailments is that the global heart, the global human family as a whole, is not well in terms of what we're seeing with polarization and the lack of civility and income inequality and the effects of a global pandemic and racial tensions and all of these things that we're seeing, the sense of disconnection and isolation. And that part of how I see that is that we have devoted a lot of time and energy in our world system towards technology. So we're technologically overfed, and not enough, certainly in the last couple of decades or so, in our spiritual nourishment. So we're spiritually malnourished. And that if we are experiencing the 8 ailments, it doesn't mean that we have to feel guilty or we should judge ourselves. It's simply something that we're caught up in a collective field of an energy for the global human family. And how is it manifesting for us? How are we feeling disempowered, disconnected, not remembering that we're not separate, that we are all connected to each other, to ourselves, and to the planet. And that the way I kind of frame that is that each one of us are experiencing some level of these 8 different ailments, which I will talk about in a moment. And that the idea, again, is not to judge yourself, but just like if you get a disease, like if you get cancer or something, you don't judge yourself for being bad. It's unfortunate if you have it, but I don't really think people say, oh, that's a terrible person. Look, they got cancer. They say, oh, it's terrible they have cancer. What can we do to help them heal it? So it's the same thing. It's not that we did anything wrong if we are experiencing these ailments. It's simply noticing how these ailments might be affecting us and challenging us and keeping us back from our potential and from our happiness and from our health and from our sense of connection and purpose. And that the remedies are designed like medicine to trigger. So if as we went on, I think the medicine got more intense. That was my sense. So if they triggered you, to just be aware that the more it triggers you, the more it's doing its healing work. it's just a game we're playing, right? So let's just play the game, right? It's just a viewpoint. The more you were triggered, the more you were doing some healing of something within yourself to come back to a level of balance within yourself. And that is what I believe from all the philosophies that I have, that what is health? It's restoring the system back to balance. That can be in yourself, that can be in a family system, it can be in a work team, it could be in a country, it can be on the planet. That we're functioning in a healthy way when we've restored balance. We're not no longer out of balance. So since we've been through the process of being triggered by the remedies, I want to just end this by showing us, at least from my viewpoints, what happens when we're healed from these ailments. What do we step into? And it's like a blueprint for how to be on the planet. You could say it's a blueprint for what our human potential is. So I'm actually going to do something really radical and crazy and use some slides to show you this. Oh. 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 See how easy I can entertain myself? So just to take a look here. So here you have Reviving the Global Heart, the 8 ailments, to remind us that you can break down, look at the symptoms within yourself. In what ways are you experiencing inner storm, which can be also seen as anxiety, distraction, burnout, confusion, paralysis, which can also be seen as cynicism, apathy, and hopelessness, fear, which can also be seen as powerlessness and victimhood, separation, which is about labeling, judgment, and othering, isolation, which is about indifference, arrogance, which is a certain level of self-importance, self-righteousness, and last week we talked about greed. And I don't have the remedies here, but let's see. I don't know if we can, I don't know if we need to dwell on those. We've done those, but I wanted to just start looking at what happens when you've done your work and you've done the healing process and you've moved to a level of healing. The first one is, that should, why is it not moving? Let's see if I do that. There you go. 8 signs of a healed, revived heart. So when you've in a sense healed the inner storm, then you've gotten to a deeper level of inner stillness, resilience, and balance. That on some level you can say that the distractions, social media distractions, the distractions of money and worrying about, and the anxiety and the uncertainty, that you've managed to find a way to maintain inner stillness within all the uncertainty, and you've cultivated a deeper level of resilience and balance. That's when you've got a healed state of the inner storm. The next one is when you've got a renewed sense of overcome paralysis or cynicism or apathy and hopelessness that you've developed within yourself. You can walk on the planet with a spontaneous feeling of humble pride, that you're proud of yourself. You can feel your own worth, that you have hope, that you can feel joy within yourselves. And when you're feeling joy, that there's a certain level of flow. So you start moving through the world with inner stillness, resilience, balance, sense of humble pride and confidence, hope, joy, and flow. When you overcome the ailment of fear, which can also be powerlessness and victimhood, you've developed a sense of confidence. And you really feel that what you're doing is having an impact. You feel your purpose. You feel that you have meaning. And since this is overcoming fear with this idea, remember fear, the statement was, in each moment I create safety within myself, know my self-worth and have an impact. I see that my suffering doesn't give me the right to harm you, which means that you cultivate a certain level of mercy. That it doesn't mean you have to, you could say forgiveness, so it doesn't justify other people's harms towards you, but that you cultivate within yourself a level of mercy that you can see past and just get over that initial response of, You've harmed me, so I have the right to harm you. And when we overcome the ailment of separation, which is labeling, judgment, and othering, we have a deeper level of understanding. We have a deeper level of empathy towards others. And we have a deeper sense of true connection, not only with ourselves, but with loved ones, strangers, and adversaries. And when we overcome the ailment of isolation and indifference, we feel a deeper level of belonging. We have a purpose again. We have a function. We're part of something larger. We're involved in something larger than ourselves, which activates a deeper level of compassion, which is what we're working on here. To understand that, to feel compassion in action, the sense of I can feel the suffering of others. I have the capacity to, if I have the capacity to serve, I would like to do that on National Volunteer Day. And to when we overcome the arrogance and self-importance, which is seeing that my truth does not equal the truth, we cultivate wisdom. We increase our sense of truth. When we can see that our truth is limited, and that is can only experience the truth to a certain degree, we can expand our truth, our personal truth, to meet and to understand and to overcome the limits that we think of what our reality is as it is, which instantly increases our impact and influence on others. And when we overcome the element of self-righteousness, we have a certain level of healthy humility. Remember the statement I don't have that here. That had to do, well, the healthy humility to be able to see that, oh yes, what I'm accusing you of, I have thought, said, or done myself on some level. So to have the humility that what you're accusing someone else of, oh, maybe I can see within myself how I have that as well, which would activate a deeper level of nonviolence for yourself, others, and the planet when you're operating from that perspective. And the last one with greed is when you overcome the element of greed, you have a spontaneous sense of generosity. And that comes from feeling within yourself, because the remedy had to do with saying, I have enough and I would like to share. And so you develop within yourself a deep sense of contentment. And from that place, bringing in the Hebrew word dayenu, concept of dayenu, which means I have enough, or just enough. You develop a deeper level of appreciation, a deeper level of gratitude for all that comes your way. And then what they say is that in that space, miracles can happen. That when you can walk through the world with a sense of, at this moment, in this present moment, what I have is enough, I am content. That anything comes your way is a miracle in a sense, on top of that. So if this is the blueprint, I would say, for imagine if you could walk through the world in every moment in your thoughts, your words, and your actions with inner stillness, resilience, balance, sincere pride, hope, joy, flow, confidence, impact, mercy, understanding, empathy, connection, belonging, involvement, compassion, wisdom, increased impact and influence, and diplomacy. I didn't see that one. Healthy humility, nonviolence towards yourself, others, and the planet, a deep level of generosity and contentment, where every moment is a miracle. I'm still working on it. I still got a lot of healing to do there, but imagine what this planet would be like. And to just recognize that, when I always say I have hope in the messiness, I think we're all capable of that. I believe that we all have the capacity to move through the world in that place. It's there for us. And that on some level, to move, it's an interesting approach to say, okay, I'm going to actually, my way to get there is through my ailments. That my ailments are giving me the direction that I can go to find all of these qualities within myself. And when I do the necessary healing It's in the healing process that it's like an alchemical process. The healing process is kind of refining you. It's turning you from lead to gold. I didn't make that up, as you probably know. I'm borrowing that. But that's our capacity. And that's really, that's this idea of recognizing the ailments that we're all experiencing, find a deeper, use these remedies to shift that and turn that into these healing aspects that is your birthright. And just imagine, just imagine how you will be in the world and the level of impact you can have on those around you, and what a shift that would be in terms of how human beings are treating this planet and one another. So let's take that into our practice. Thank you for letting me go through that with you. Finding a way to sit where your body is not slouching, but you're sitting with a sense of elongation in your spine. Elongating all the way up through the top of your head. Tucking your chin in a little bit. Bring your awareness to your core, and your lower belly, your center. You can find that by investigating the width of 3 fingers below your navel and a third of the way into the body. From the front of the body, finding a spot in your lower belly, bringing your full attention to this spot, center of personal power. Impulse, gut wisdom. Awareness. And from your center, your place of awareness, becoming aware of your contact points, parts of your body that are connecting to what you're sitting on the floor. Allowing yourself to be held. Claiming your place on this planet. And from your center, becoming aware of your physical body. All we're doing is cultivating a deeper level of listening and awareness. Into the wisdom of your body speaking to you through sensation. Appreciating the gift of this body you have. From your center, become aware of your emotions. And as you're doing this, just however you were impacted by this offering I gave you around the 8 signs of a healed, revived heart, what stuck with you? And can you feel that in your physical body as a potentiality and possibility? Can you feel that in your emotions as an emotional state? And from your center, become aware of your thoughts in this moment. What thoughts are arising for you? From your center, now bring awareness to your heart or the middle of your chest, where your heart power resides. Wisdom, compassion, courage. From your center and from your heart, becoming aware of that part of you which connects with something larger than yourself. And feeling in this moment what that might feel like, a connection with something larger than yourself. And perhaps even consider, just to replay the game, that this part of you is already healed, already embodies those qualities. But that there is a part of you that is already healed and is revived and is embodying all of those qualities. As you connect with something larger than yourself. With this awareness from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in.
No.
What's that doing? What's it doing?
Well, it said.
With this awareness in all parts of who you are in this moment, from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of your surroundings. Keeping your eyes closed, using your other senses to sense your surroundings in all directions. From this healed state of all these qualities, how would you engage with your surroundings? How would you move through your space? Your relationship with your surroundings and environment. And with that awareness from yourself and your surroundings, take a deep breath, deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And from your center and from your heart, with more awareness of yourself and your surroundings, become aware of those in this meditation circle.
Audio.
From your center, your personal power and your heart, from that part of you that it feels already revived and healed in these qualities. From that place, connecting with those in this circle. Acknowledging them and the parts of them that have stepped into and embraced these qualities. With gratitude, appreciation. And with this awareness of self, surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, take a full breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Taking this awareness and connection with self, surroundings, and those in this meditation circle as we now broaden our scope and our capacity to open our hearts as we become aware of all human beings, regardless, well, however you label them as loved one, stranger, or adversary, beginning with those human beings that you would label loved one. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see, or groups of people standing face to face? Radiating these qualities in a stillness, joy, empathy, and in some way maybe activating that within them. And those human beings that you would label stranger, who arises in your heart? What faces do you see? Groups of people. And as you stand face to face from your center and your heart connecting with their center and their heart, what qualities could you activate within yourself? Belonging, understanding, nonviolence, healthy humility, flow, and noticing if that activates something within them. And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of those that you would label adversary. Who arises in your heart? What groups of people? And again, from your center and from your heart, activating these qualities, noticing the impact it might have on them. Resilience, hope, confidence, mercy, sincere pride, compassion, diplomacy. And what might that activate in them? Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. And maybe if you can feel in your heart this idea of Dayenu, of appreciation and gratitude, contentment, and the possibility of miracles. And to just from your heart, open to the possibility, what if each and every person, human being, found their way to activate all of these qualities within themselves? What if? What would the planet look like? Who would you be? How would we be with one another? And with that awareness, take a full deep breath to anchor that deep in your heart. Holding that image, that possibility. As you bring all human beings back into your heart. As you connect again with those in this meditation circle. Seeing everyone in this meditation circle with new eyes. In this healed state. Companions on a path. Not only do you have sincere pride for yourself, but a sort of sincere pride for each other. Bringing those in this meditation circle into your heart as you bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Bringing your surroundings into your heart as you bring your awareness back to yourself. Noticing the benefits of the practice that you've done. How open is your heart at this moment? How ignited is your heart at this moment? Feeling that sense of appreciation, gratitude, contentment, and the joy and flow of possibility. Taking this practice, the benefits or the effects, the energy you've generated into your cells, nourishing each one of your cells in a healed way, a revived way, letting this seep into all of your organs, from your brain to your bladder, nourishing your internal system. Letting this seep into your nervous system is a way to remember this, anchoring it. And with the abundance of energy you've generated, let it flow into your core, your battery, to charge you for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, for the decade. Let's take one final breath to close this practice. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Slowly opening your eyes. Looking around your room, wherever you are, or your porch. Stretching your body, shaking your body a little bit. So we did we had our motivation, we did our practice. Now we have time to reflect. I really wanted to give you as much time as possible to share your thoughts on what I shared. What's on your heart? What arises for you?
Well, I feel like I really need to be here today because I feel like I've been getting very angry and very quickly when I look at the news, when I read about the news, especially about this trial in Minneapolis. And I think the thing that's really bothering me is the not guilty plea. And I just don't know where to go with it because I hear people are already starting to riot, and it's very difficult to deal with.
Yeah. What do you need? What do you think you need, Christine?
Sometimes I think I need to move to Canada, but that's not realistic. I need to, well, first of all, I'm about as gun control as you can get. And as some of you might know, the word ownership is nowhere to be found in the Second Amendment. However, Americans do in fact have a legal right to own a gun, but the intention was not to shoot people up at a movie theater or whatever. I think what I need is support from people, and not necessarily just like-minded people. And I need some peace of mind. And I need to understand why I was born into probably the most violent country that ever existed. I mean, this whole country was founded in violence, and nobody will convince me otherwise.
Okay, that's your viewpoint. Yes, there might
Yes,
be
right now
people
I feel very strongly about it.
who are, yeah, and I'm not discounting it, but I just want to clarify that you're sharing your viewpoint.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. My opinion, and hopefully I will change. My feelings will change over time.
Well, the viewpoint, you see, you just named your viewpoints and your feelings are two different things.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So your viewpoints may change or not. What I think, what I'm feeling into when I ask, what do you need? That is an emotional part of you that needs something. And you said support. And I want to offer that as a way of, for all of us, when we're moving through these times, you know, people are saying it more and more. There's a reason why we're born into these times, and who knows what that might be. let's say that is true and we have something to offer, what might that be? I'd like to believe that each one of us has something to offer, and the more privilege we have, the more opportunity we have to offer something. And I think we need each other to stay regulated, to stay. We need support from one another. So there's the viewpoints and the active part of us, and then there's the parts of us that are hurting. And how do we support each other in that? And I feel, it's my sense, I might not be right, but my sort of sense, Christine, you're hurting at the moment. And that is more urgent right now than anything, because I don't know if you have any influence over the court system in Minneapolis. Do you? No. So the question always is, where do we have power right now? That's the ailment of powerlessness, right? So where do you have power right now? And where you have power right now is in your capacity to tap into what you're feeling and feel it, understand what you need, and ask for help and support. Because my guess is, knowing you and the people you hang out with, there are other people who are feeling the same way that would appreciate a call. Wow, I didn't have the guts to call, reach out for help. Thank you that you did it, so let's help each other. And that might be all that we can do right now, is make sure we take care of ourselves. And I don't know if that's comforting or not, but but I appreciate you sharing what you're sharing. But I want to just remind, there's a difference between the viewpoints and the feelings and the needs.
Yes, thank you, Joe.
Anybody want to add to that, what Christine said, or what I was saying to Christine, or share something else?
This is only semi-related, but Christine, thanks for what you said. I could really feel it. And I needed the reminder, Joe, about the piece about like, where do we have power at the moment? And to work from there, and sometimes it is just with the self. I also want to say, I also needed the reminder that it's through the ailment that one gets to the remedy. And I like want a recording of you just saying the words of the remedies, because I realized I haven't been cascaded with like beautiful words of like good things that I want to be in a little while. You know, like I can't think what I have. So I was like, there was something very soothing about it. And I was just like, please keep saying these words over and over to me. I want to like listen to them before I go to bed. No, that's not the point. It's not magical that way, but it did work magically as a side thing for me.
Beautiful. Thank you. We may need to do that, make a recording of this. Thank you.
Christine, I feel very strongly about what you're saying, and it's something that takes up a tremendous amount of my mental space. And I try to find balance in it with all the work that we're doing here and being present with that energy going on in Minneapolis and all over the country. And the place where I feel like I have power is in being very clear about what I know to be true about the topic. For me to be clear that all people are created equal, and that everybody has all the rights that, you know, to rights to exist and be happy and live their lives without being attacked. And so the only thing that I feel like I can do is really bring that clarity forward, even if it's just within myself, to be present with it, with whomever I'm with and wherever I am, that I hold that point of view with clarity. And right now, that's the only power that I have.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Chia. I really feel that. I really feel that. And I think then it's a starting point, right? Is where do we have power? And that's part of I mean, that goes right back to the ailment number one of the inner storm. How do we stay regulated? And that's the starting point of it. And how do we, if we can keep ourselves empowered, we can reach out to and connect with others. Power within leads to power with. You create stronger alliances, which makes us stronger to be able to be of service to those who are disempowered and don't have the luxury to attend these kind of sessions or to do the things, the privilege that we have. It starts with the self. We create stronger alliances and we have a larger impact in that way. And I just want to clarify for our European friends and those who may not be following international news, we're in a tricky week where there's a trial happening, George Floyd, the death of George Floyd, and the person who has been accused of killing him is on trial, and the trial is the jury is in deliberation. So there's a lot of tension. I'll just leave it at that. And if that interests you, please look online. It's worth knowing about. And on some level, it's an inflection point. Feels like it's become an inflection point for what's happening in this country. And therefore important to at least notice and to keep an eye on. And I just wanted to share that for those. We're talking about something that some of our fellow meditation people might not be aware of. Anything else? Or not anything else, but anybody else like to share? We got a couple more minutes. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Amelia. Thank you, all of you, for being here. I'm feeling deep gratitude and appreciation for those of you who show up on a regular basis. It touches my heart deeply to support this practice we're doing, to support me, to support one another, and knowing that there are people who share in this vision. As I say, talk to other people about this weekly practice. It'd be nice to bring some new faces in, share some more hearts, and incorporate them into what we're doing. Just so you know, Todd just put in the link. Tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm giving a keynote speech at the Global Fresh Waters Summit. This is an online summit, international summit of people who have dedicated their lives to preserving the rivers of the world. And this is focused in St. Louis. So it's about honoring and preserving the Mississippi River. There's a link there to sign up for the event. They will send you, you should check it. There was a little problem with registration, but you should check it again. And they are sending out, every day they're sending out a different Zoom link. So for tomorrow, they'll be sending out a Zoom link for tomorrow's sessions. So please join. It'll be fun to have you there to talk about fear civility. Todd will be there, and bring some friends along. Shelly raised her hand, she'll be there. And we have spaces still available. Tia raised her hand in the Respectful Confrontation Weekend Workshop, April 30th to May 2nd. If you know people who would like to join in on that, to learn skills about how to speak your truth, stay regulated in these times. It's a beautiful training, online training, the whole weekend. Well, not the whole weekend, but it's a weekend course. And let's do our dedication. So dedicating these energies to the possibilities that we created, that all beings recognize their capacity for healing, for reviving their hearts, for stepping into their true capacity and potential. And may a world system develop which allows each and every one of us to have that capacity, to have the resources, the power and information and space and freedom to reach their true potential. May there be peace and nonviolence in the week coming up. and that whatever the verdict might be in this trial, may it be to the best unfolding of all Americans, particularly those Americans who feel oppressed. And may all beings have enough fresh water to drink and food to eat on this planet. And may all leaders and governments govern from a place of wisdom and a revived, healed heart instead of greed and fear. So next week, I've asked, thank you, I've asked Kevin Fong to come back. Kevin Fong is doing a lot of work right now with creating circles for racial healing. And he's been very, very busy, particularly since the shooting in Atlanta at the Asian spa. And he's going to come and talk and give his reflections on what's been unfolding this week. And by then we might have more information. So I really recommend you come, tell your friends. He's so well connected into this realm in this country and comes with such heart and wisdom, as you know. So if you're looking for a little bit of perspective on this, I recommend you come. All right, have a great week. You get in touch if you need to, and we'll see you next week, or maybe tomorrow. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.